Welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. This is the show that gives you everything you need to know before the big game kicks off. Today, that game is at Vicarage Road, where Derby County face Watford. The hosts have made a great start to the season. They're one of just 3 teams to have won both of their opening championship games. They got past MK Dons in the Carabao Cup as well. And all in all, they've scored 11 goals through their opening 3 fixtures. This is head coach Tom Cleverley's first full season in charge. Plenty tipped Watford to struggle in their first campaign without Premier League parachute payments, but there haven't been any signs of that so far. Well, Derby got their first championship win of the new season at the second attempt with last weekend's battling win over Middlesbrough. And there were a couple of injuries picked up in that game. Kane Wilson won't be available today. And as you'll hear from head coach Paul Warne a little later, neither will defender Aaron Cashin. The Rams won a club record 13 matches away from home last season as they won promotion from League One. They haven't won at Vicarage Road since November 2014, but that stat is a little misleading. This season is just the second in the past 10 years that Derby and Watford are sharing the same division. Well, the Championship weekend got underway last night, Leeds taking victory at Hillsborough in the Yorkshire Derby. That's actually Leeds' first win of the season. 10 more matches today, including Sunderland against Burnley. They've both won their opening 2 games of the season, so something has to give, as they say. The South Wales Derby brings the weekend to a close on Sunday. And at Vicarage Road today, it is Watford against Derby County. I said you'd hear from Paul Warne in the programme, so I won't make you wait any longer. Here's the Derby head coach on having a week off between fixtures.
It is a luxury. I mean, since we've been back, it's been chaotic. So it has enabled us to do other stuff. Has enabled us to come off a couple of lads. A few of the lads are, like David Ozo, for example, hasn't played 3 games in a week in his career, I don't think. So that was quite good. Been able to work, obviously, with the new keeper, Jacob in the building. So that helps, gives a good steady week, and it's a nice build-up for the game. And then, obviously, we go to Barrow and then Bristol, and then we have another bit of calm.
How has Jacob looked this week?
Yeah, really good. Fortunately, it would be a bit of an anticlimax if he came in and had no hands. So that's good. No, he looked all right, comfortable. Doing some stuff with him in the team shape as well, which is obviously essential. So, yeah, no, he looked okay.
Is it going to take a little bit of time to bed him in and get him to understand what you want from him?
Yes and no. I think my managerial answer is, takes weeks of work. It's non-stop. But realistically, it's just football, isn't it? I think. The thing that takes longer to bed in is probably like the intricacies that you learn over periods of time. Any new signing. So, for example, if it was the last minute of the game, do I want him to play a short goal kick across the 6-yard box, or do I want him to hit long? I think most people listening to me talking would know what I want, but Swedish football is different. So there's probably little bits like that, little bits of management like that, but he'll pick them up. He's really intelligent, so it doesn't take him long.
Unless you're going to drop an exclusive on us, no new signings this week at the moment, but you will have Jerry Yates available for the first time, which will feel like a new signing.
Yeah, it will, yeah. Really pleased. Jerry was excellent pre-season, obviously, and gives us a real threat if selected. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing him run around. It's weird, he's like, since his suspension's finished, he seems to be a bit louder. Seems to be saying hello to me a lot more. So I'm well aware that he's available, yeah. So it'd be nice to have him back.
You're still getting plaudits for what you achieved last season. Aaron Cashin named in the PFA League One Team of the Year on Wednesday night, which leads me to ask how he's doing, because he came off, of course, against Middlesbrough at the weekend. Yeah,
well, he's obviously going through his concussion protocol, so he won't be available for a couple of games, unfortunately, which is hugely frustrating for him, and it always is. It's hard to tell a player that, look, it's for your own good to come off. In years to come, he'll obviously send me flowers for the rest of my life on that day to remember that, we've saved him. But at the time, he wasn't best pleased at coming off, obviously, and he's a competitor. So it's a big loss for us. And as always, it's like, next man up, and can't cry about it. You have to do what's right for the player and the player's health. They're not robots. So you have to do what's right. So, yeah, unfortunately, he's missing, which he isn't best pleased about.
On to Saturday, Watford have had a very good start. How do you try to slow them down?
Good question. They've had a really good start. Look, Tom's, changed, 5 or 6, 7 players. They're a really athletic side. I think Watford are one of them teams, if you play them on their day, they're smoking everybody, which they have been like that for years and years, in fairness. And they are scoring goals. I think they scored 11 in 3 games. I know they have. They obviously scored 3 away at Millwall, 3 at home to a very good Stoke side. And they have a lot of threat and pace throughout the team. So it doesn't take a genius to work out. If you look at their team sheet, they're quite good. So there's a lot of things we'll have to be really good at. In the same way, I thought Middlesbrough were really good. We, as coaches, we watch at least the last 3 games that they play in. When we obviously watch our lads train, and we have to work out the best way to stop them and the best way to hurt them. So, look, the better teams in this league, and there's a lot of very good teams, don't have many frailties, but everyone does. Every team, every shape has a weakness, and it's our job as coaches with the players to work out that way, and that's what we're in the middle of now.
Paul Warne there, who's never beaten Watford as a manager before, although Tom Cleverley's never beaten Derby as a head coach before either, although this will be his first game against the Rams since stepping into management full-time with Watford last season. His side have won 3 out of 3 to start this new season.
Yeah, I think there's you come up against so many different challenges. It's not always the right one solution solves every puzzle. So we've got different ways. We've got great substitutes to bring on to change the pace or intensity or the style of a game. And I think we've got a good staff to be able to adapt. Now, I'm not counting my chickens by any means. There's going to be times where we do come unstuck, but right now we're all working towards and we're preparing for pretty much every scenario that can happen in 90 minutes of football. And so far we've had the answers.
We've had our best goal scoring start at home for 40 odd years. Last season we couldn't buy a win. That must really please you, because that was, I know, was one of your targets for this season. Yeah. Like I said, when we came in last year, it was a case of we really tightened the team up, but we lost a bit of attacking productivity in balancing that out. Now, the part of the pre-season was to try and sway that the other way without losing the balance. We probably went too far the other way, and we hit a sweet spot around the Brentford game where against a Premier League team we did well, and then we've hit the ground running in the season. It's one of those things, these stats. I think you're only 2 or 3 games away from the stats going the other way. So I'll always bang on about doubling down on high standards. You're at your most vulnerable when you're in these moments, I think, and you can't take this feeling for granted, and we certainly won't be. With the home form, would you say it's got to be collected with the fans as well? Because there's often that question of what should start first, the crowd lifting the team or the team lifting the fans. We've had 2 good home games, but the fans have got to keep that rolling with us.
Yeah, I think we can do it together, but I'll always demand that the players are the catalyst for that. Some games that it will be a bit of a stalemate, and we'll need time to break down opposition, and that's when we'll really need them to egg us on and get us over the line, and I'm sure they will. But from my end, it'll always be my demand on the players to be the catalyst for that atmosphere within our stadium, and we're in a good moment at home. I think it's a long time since we've conceded, and we're scoring goals, but we will continue to work really hard, harder than ever to continue that.
Have you told players to shoot more? Because I think the number of shots we had last week was the highest in last 12 months.
I've not told them to shoot more, no, because I don't want them shooting on sight, but we've created some real solid patterns and ways of how we're going to score. I think the players are really clear with that. They're becoming habit now. You'll hopefully start to see a team with real identity.
How do you think you'll do with the expectation? Because it is going to rise with every good result.
Well, I grew up at a club that was expected to win every week, so I'm sure I can handle that. I don't want to be a team. I want to be a team that is expected to win. Said when we go into the Luton game, I want to be favourites for that game. That means we've had a good start to the season. So these are all things that I've been comfortable growing up around. Now it's my job to try and portray that to the players and how we do that, and that's no complacency, consistent with the basics, and continue to be hard to beat.
Tom Cleverley, the Watford boss there, just a couple of notes on them, because after he spoke to the media on Thursday, young Colombia international Yasser Asprilla has left the club as expected. He didn't play any part in the opening 3 games of the season anyway. Daniel Jemison is expected to join on loan from Bournemouth at some stage. Derby had been linked with him, but nothing confirmed just yet. Yeah, transfer window closes on Friday. There have been lots of deals done in the Championship over the past 24 hours. I'm sure it will only get more manic as we get toward the deadline. Back to today, Watford have had the perfect start to the season. The Rams looking to end that. Defender Callum Elder knows they're in for a tough task this afternoon.
Yeah, I think we knew that when we came up into this division that every game will pose a challenge to us. I think one good thing about this group is we'll always take each challenge on. It's an exciting time, really. You know, we're back in the Championship off our first home win. It was great to be back at Pride Park on Saturday. I thought collectively, you know, as a group of players, we stood tall. The fans got behind us, stuck with us throughout the whole game, especially in the second half when we came under pressure. And you know, it was a great feeling to get that first win back in this division. And we now go into another exciting test away at Watford, which, you know, we're all looking forward to, and, you know, we'll look to give a good account of ourselves on Saturday.
There's something about that backs-to-the-wall siege mentality that we saw at Pride Park on Saturday. Talk to me about the emotions at full time in a game like that.
Yeah, well, big relief, firstly. You know, when you come under that much pressure in the second half, you, at that point in that second half, you just want to get over the line and see the job through. It wasn't really the way we had set up. You know, we did look to sort of have a mid-block in the game and counter on them. We kind of did that in the opening goal with Caden. But, you know, as the second half goes on and the game goes on and they sort of withstand that pressure against us, you know, you need to stand tall. And I thought we did that to a man very well on Saturday, coupled with, you know, some fine saves from Josh. So, you know, every game is going to be a team effort. We showed that on Saturday, and, you know, that it will be no different this weekend.
We know every manager, every team has a way that they want to play. They have their principles. But did Saturday show that being adaptable is going to be really important as well this season? Yeah,
I think you've got to show that, you know, especially, you know, if you look at the first 2 games we played, we sort of went toe-to-toe with Blackburn and came a bit unstuck on the counter. Saturday just gone was a lot different. You know, I felt we were a lot more solid without the ball. We got that goal, you know, may come down to a mistake which happened, and, you know, like I said, we stood tall and we defended what we needed to. So showing that versatility game to game is important, but I think, you know, we will always have our core principles and how we want to play as a team with and without the ball, and Saturday would be no different.
You personally had a really good start, a couple of starts in the league, plenty of minutes. I know last season was a bit stop-start for you. What are you hoping to achieve this season?
Yeah, I think more than anything, it was just frustrating not to have played more of a part than I would have liked last season. You know, injuries don't help, of course. You know, you can't find a rhythm in your performances. But you've always got to look forward in football and in life. And, you know, I'm excited about the challenge ahead this season. You know, we're playing for such a massive club that deserves to be back in this division and to progress and push on. And, you know, we're privileged to be in this squad that has the opportunity to do that and play for Derby back in the Championship. So, you know, moving forward, I'm fully focused on having a good season and playing my part, however that may be in this team.
And a good pre-season helps with that. And I know you came back for pre-season in great shape. Talk to me about the work that you put in over the summer to get ready.
Yeah, I think for me, you can only sit still for so long in the off-season before you know that week by week the pre-season schedule's coming. You know, we've got every tool at our disposal. You know, the staff are so helpful. They provide us with programs and schedules that we stick to, and it allows us to come back in the best shape possible. So, you know, I enjoyed the pre-season schedule, and, you know, now the real stuff's begun, and it's about focusing each day in training and making sure you're physically and mentally ready for the game on the weekend.
That was Callum Elder, and this was the build-up from RamsTV. We're back with Matchday Live from 2:30 this afternoon for Watford against Derby County. It's available to all viewers outside the UK, so get your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. Goodbye.